As we are within 2 minutes here of football action.
Yes, we are very close to football action, our favorite time of the year, as both teams' captains are lining up to head out to the coin toss.
Seems like this seems like an important decision going to be made here. Feels like whoever gets the ball to start the game will have a significant advantage. Two offenses that are looking to really get things going after struggling in their previous games that they had.
Most definitely with that, as we were watching points offense a couple weeks ago, they definitely have a high potent offense. Looking at the stats for Simpson College against Waldorf, I mean, even though they didn't win, it wasn't even a close game. Jay Jensen the third, I mean, 13 for 22 with 209 yards and 3 touchdowns is pretty solid.
Sorry if you heard a little bit. Looks like everything we got here is we got everything going all right, technology-wise. So we should be good here as we get even much closer here to kickoff. As we looks like the coin toss looks like we're having some honorary captains. Kitty Wire looks like we got some more honorary. More honorary captains. They're honoring her before the game here. It's a nice standing ovation there. As we're within clocks, doesn't matter right here at any point here as we get closer to kickoff. But looks like Stevens Point's going to start with the ball as Simpson won the toss and they deferred to the second half. So Stevens Point will start the game with the football, and Trey Schrader with a chance to kind of redeem himself. After a little bit of a slow start, he's looking to try to get things going offensively.
Yes, he is. He definitely has the talent to do it. He has the offense to do it, and we hope for points' sake they do it.
Yeah, without question, as they have a pretty potent running game if they can get things established, as we saw in week 1. Reed Smith with a really solid game, 100 over 100 yards and a touchdown. But I think establishing a balanced offense here with the run and the pass game is essential for Stevens Point's success here tonight, because that opens up the playbook to really whatever you want to run.
It really keeps it would keep Simpson College guessing on what Point's going to do, whether they're going to, pass the ball, run the ball with all the talent that they have. It's good to keep a team guessing on what you're going to do. You're not going to be a pass-heavy offense where, we're just sitting pass coverage or sit in run defense. Hopefully the pointers can keep them guessing on what they're going to do next and hopefully lead to a win here.
That all-elusive first victory on the season, Stevens Point is going to be trying to go for that, as we are getting ever closer to kickoff as both teams are lining up for the kick. Coming up from number 98, Micah Bowmanhofer, 5'8" freshman out of Marion, Iowa. And back deep are a pair of pointers as we get ready to get this game underway. And we are officially underway here as Stevens Point will receive the kick, and on the run back as they get up close to the 25 to the 30 and be taken down at about the 32-yard line. So a nice little return there for the pointers. And number 16, that is Peyton Vende. Or they're just going to say Bryson Cashin took that out. Looks like they must have swapped the numbers here. But Bryson Cashin takes this one out for Stevens Point. And now the offense is on the field. Trey Schrader moves Reed Smith to his side in motion to tight end and lines up now as fullback. Schrader gets ready for the snap. Here it comes. Schrader will hand it off to Smith. He'll go up the middle, and nice little room there. Push it forward for about 3. So a nice little draw play to start the game, as now we are officially underway here in this pink game. I'm going to say they're going to give that a generous 4 yards. He picked up on that, making it 2nd and 6 here as lining up with a few wide receivers over to his left. Aguilera out there, one of his top targets. Smith to his side in motion, another wide receiver handing it off on the jet sweep up, trying to cut up the field, but great defense there by the Cyclones as they snuff that one out, as that is number 23 for the Pointers. That was Joe Aguilera in the motion, and just nothing doing on that one. That'll back up. That'll actually, they'll say they'll go for a loss of 1, making it 3rd down and 7. What'd you see on there? Was that a jet sweep all the way, or was that kind of a quarterback choice on that one?
I think it looked like just a jet sweep, and he tried cutting it up, and it just wasn't going anywhere.
So 3rd down and long here for Stevens Point. Aguilera in motion. Jacob to the top of the screen as Schrader gets ready for the snap. Schrader takes the snap, now drops back, looking to go out to a little out route, but a miscommunication there between Jacob and Schrader, and that'll result in a 3 and out to start the game, as Jacob is hearing it on the sidelines from one of his coaches, as Stevens Point with a not successful, not very good drive to start the game. It'll go 3 and out. Coming on to kick it, Carter Unger for Stevens Point. What'd you see on that 3rd down miscommunication?
I don't know if it's miscommunication or Schrader was just trying to hit him right away. It definitely wasn't successful.
Unger gets the snap, kind of a liner, and that'll go and be caught by Simpson's number 8. That is Reed Worth, their leading receiver for the team. So coming onto the field now is this Simpson College offense, a team that, as it may seem, they struggled mightily in that Week 1 game, giving up 54 points and only scoring 21. But they are still a very high-scoring, potent offense, as Jay Jensen, the 3rd quarterback for this team, is a very dynamic athlete, as they're going to get their first offensive set underway. Moving it motion into his right is Desmond Alexander, and they'll hand it to Alexander up the middle, and he'll fight his way forward for about 3. So both sides trying to establish that run game to start the game here, as they'll make it about a 2nd down and 7 score here. Or excuse me, 2nd down and 7 here. Dropping back to pass is Jensen. He'll throw a nice little out route, and that one is dropped. Man, hit him right in the hands. That was Hunter Dahlgren, the 6'2 junior out of Urbandale, Iowa, excuse me. Man, that was about as perfect of a pass as you can get. Just had his eyes upfield and dropped it.
Yeah, just right in his hands, and just nowhere to be seen.
Here, so Jensen now gets ready for 3rd down. He's got Alexander to his left. Gets ready to take the snap. He does, drops back to pass, throws a little screen. Got it played beautifully, though, by the Pointers, as they'll stop that. That was only a gain of about 2 yards, 2 or 3, and that'll make it 4th down and 5. So both sides with a 3 and out to start the game as Stevens Point defense rises up. Coming on to punt, number 15 for the Cyclones. That's Tyron Jacoby. And a pair of Pointers back deep. Jacoby gets the punt away. A nice little punt and fair caught by Stevens Point and Bryson Cashin. So both sides with 2 quick possessions is not a lot of offensive fireworks to start this one game, but obviously it's early. As now Trey Schrader will come back onto the field for his 2nd drive of the game. What do the Pointers have to do really to improve on that, to improve offensively on that first drive? Because miscommunication, really, that was ultimately what ended on that 3rd down play.
I guess just trying to find the open holes running-wise, and no miscommunication that really kills a team here, as it's
2 little triple option almost, as Schrader tried to do a quick little handoff, and that goes for a very small gain there, just about 2 yards. Couldn't grab a number on that one. Really lining up Cash in there in the backfield, as he is kind of the athlete that really is the Swiss Army knife, kind of does everything, receiving, catching. Does a little bit of everything. So Schrader will line up under center once again, and that triple option set up as they will pitch it to Cashin. He's trying to find the edge, and that's bottled up again by the Cyclones. And that'll be only about a few yards, or excuse me, the Storm. Thinking of Iowa State, pardon me. But the Storm defense smothered all that one, and it makes it a 3rd down and 5. So once again, back to 3rd down. Stevens Point so far 0 of 1 as they're going to try to respond here. But it's interesting they're going with that kind of triple option as you see the armed forces football teams go with as they're lined up with it once again. And at the top of the screen, DJ Jacob. Putting in motion is Smith, now rolling out to his right, and he's just going to get decked under pressure from the get-go as Schrader had absolutely nowhere to go as the Storm just gobbled him up, and that's going to be another 3 and out for Stevens Point. Just pressure in his face from the get-go, nothing going.
Really nowhere to go. I mean, I don't know what his offensive line, it just didn't pick up a block or they just sent the house there. Schrader he couldn't even get the ball off.
That's the risk of running that triple option, though, is when it's done effectively, it's done really well. And Army out of West Point, their offense has kind of been known for that for it kind of as long as their football team has been known. But really, the offensive line, very close to being blocked there by the Storm at making a fair catch at about the 30-yard line for Simpson was Reed Worth. See if Simpson will try to get him involved in anything here. So the Storm with a 1st down, their 2nd drive of the game, not very productive one, and but Simpson likes to utilize that 2-quarterback roster there as a few guys were in the last game's stats books as Jensen the third comes back out on the field in the backfield with him, Alexander, as Jensen will take the snap and hand it off to Alexander. He'll cut down and be tackled behind the line of scrimmage by a few pointers. That was number 95, Max Van Ez, both the tight end and defensive player.
Connor Jeske, you're probably thinking. He's the D lineman, 6'3", junior out of Colby, Wisconsin.
Could be mistaken.
It's hard when they have two numbers.
295s on the roster. We'll go with this other one here. As Jensen will put his wide receiver in motion, that's Cameron Jones. He'll fake it, now hand it off to Allen. No, instead he'll keep it and get decked by a bunch of pointers, leading the way there for Stevens Point. That's number 8, Dakota Curvo, the 6'2 senior. Nice play there by the pointers.
47, Wade Ernstmeyer, the junior out of Reedsburg, Wisconsin, with a big stop there.
He was in there on with Curvo. But let's hear it. 3rd down and 15 to go here. See what Jensen and the company decide to do here on a 3rd down and long situation. And their 2nd drive of the game, 0-0 the score with Simpson with the ball. Jensen gets ready for the snap. Alexander in the backfield. He'll kind of be a little outlet. He'll go deep right down the middle and dropped again. That would have been about right at the marker. He was looking for his wide receiver, number 17, Hunter Dahlgren. That's the 2nd time he's really dropped a kind of a wide open pass. All he had to do was corral that, and they got a 1st down.
Yeah, definitely. Not like the first one, kind of a hard catch, falling backwards, but it's detrimental for his team. Two passes to him, and he's dropped both of them there.
So both offenses starting the game very slow. Taryn Jacoby will get back out here for the punt. And this one is away, and it'll be, take a very nice Simpson bounce and go to about the 20-yard line. So a mistake there on the special teams by the pointers as Mitch Zanders and number 17, Greg Mitchell, were both up back deep. Elected not to receive that one, and so Stevens Point will be at their 20-yard line for their 3rd drive of the game. Got to get something going here offensively.
Most definitely. With 8:58 left in the 1st quarter, they gotta get past the 50. I don't even know if they've been past the 40.
it's been a struggle, to say the least, for both offenses. 8:58 here in the first quarter as Schrader is under center. Aguilera in motion. They'll hand it up the middle. That is Smith, and he'll slash his way for about a gain of 4 yards. That'll make it 2nd down and 6. A lot of runs up the middle here for Stevens Point. Not really trying anything out on the edge. More of these running back draws up the middle.
I mean, we did see in that jet sweep that Simpson College really read. They read it like a book. I mean,
that's the scouting there. You knew it was coming. As now Schrader lines up under center again. 2 receivers out in motion is Smith, and they'll fake the handoff. Instead, rolling out to his right. He'll plant and look to get something going. Instead, he'll just tuck it and run and pick up close to the first down yardage. He will be about 1.5 yards short as Schrader marches it up and makes it about a 3rd down and 1. So a nice little scrambling there by the quarterback, and it makes this a 3rd down and manageable. 0 for 2 so far on 3rd downs to start the day. It'll look to probably be a run up the middle. That's what they would expect anyway, with Smith in the backfield. Aguilera out wide. Jacobs as well. Aguilera now in motion, as they will hand it up the middle to Smith. And I don't know. That's close.
they're almost giving it. I think they might be giving it to him, but hard to tell from this angle.
I don't know. Simpson, obviously, they think they got to stop. They're going to say that they picked up the 1st down. So Stevens Point able to move the chains for the first time tonight and now have their drive going.
Really, both teams moving the chains now. Looks like Stevens Point's the first one to do it tonight.
Yeah, both sides really ugly starts here to start the game offensively for Stevens Point and Simpson. Now Schrader lined up in the shotgun. Now motions his wide receiver at the top. That was Sam Armstead. Schrader rolling out again, and he'll just have to take his losses and go out of bounds. That'll be about a 1-yard loss. No, they're going to say he got back to line of scrimmage, but good pressure by this Simpson College defense. But Stevens Point definitely not fooling him with this quarterback rollouts, because they're staying home. Got to definitely change something up here offensively.
Yeah, definitely can't. Got to get the receivers open to even try to pass here.
Now Schrader lines up as a wide receiver. Cashin with the ball. Cashin will take the direct snap, and he'll run to his right, and he's got an opening, and he's on his way at the 40, at the 40, at the 20, at the 10. Touchdown, Pointers. Wow.
The Wildcat, it's open.
Bryson Cashin lining up in the Wildcat, and he has a house call for Stevens Point, and a big-time play for the Pointers as they jump on top of Simpson 6-0. A big-time play by this Pointers offense.
I mean, wide open. It's an open field for Cashin tonight.
Ponterio on for the extra point. And here's the snap. Ponterio's kick is up and plenty good. Stevens Point with the first score of the night. They draw first blood, making it 7-0 Stevens Point. A nice response there. A little trickery on the offense, lining up Schrader out wide as Cashin, as appropriately Cashin cashes in and makes us 7-0.
I don't know if they scouted that or Point's trying something new, but it definitely worked out for them.
It's one of those things we were talking about. When you have a balanced passing and running game, it opens up a lot of things, and Stevens Point able to utilize that a little deeper in the playbook as they make this a 7-0 game. But now the Storm are going to have to look to respond here, as they'll have 2 back. That's number 10, Jared Fisher, and number 15, Zahara Jacoby. Ponterio on here for the kickoff. Or excuse me, that was number 11, Gavin Osteen. The back deep. as Jacoby will now take it as he retreated into his end zone and now will run it up to about the 25-yard line. He'll break it outside and be hit out of bounds at about the 27-yard line. They're going to give him the 26, so he came out a little short, and that is where Jensen and company will take over. Offensively, they've looked very sluggish, gone backwards in both drives, and now just looking to try to get something positive.
Yeah, definitely a couple drops here and there that could have led to first downs. Didn't really happen for them, and maybe here Simpson College will find it.
Jensen with Alexander to his left. Two wide receivers lined up out wide. Number 17, Dahlgren, has had a few drops, and they'll throw it out to Dahlgren, and he will not make the catch. They're going to say incomplete. That is a third drop for him, and you got to wonder, what is Jensen's confidence going to be in his wideout if he keeps dropping these balls?
I mean, it didn't look like he dropped it there, just out of bounds, a tough catch to make, and I almost thought he had it.
I almost thought he did as well. Lining up out to his right, also number 8, Reed Worth, the leading receiver on the team, lined up one-on-one against Larry Bowe. And they're going to instead just run it up the middle and not get much with Alexander. That's about a 2-yard gain. That'll make it 3rd down and 8 here for Simpson.
Points really stopping the run game here early. Simpson College really can't get the passing game going either, so it's kind of helping in the Pointers' favor.
So let's see if the Pointers bring some pressure here. 3rd down and 10, or they're going to say 3rd down and 8 after the gain of 2. Jensen trying to go with the hard count. Got nothing. Got trips to his left. Alexander in the backfield along with Worth to his right. As now the offense faced with 3rd down. You got 3 seconds to go in the play clock. Low snap. Jensen just got to corral it and try to make something out of nothing, but instead he'll be taken down by the Pointers for a sack. That is number 52 for Stevens Point with number
Carter Borchardt, the 6'3" freshman out of Stevens Point.
So Borchardt with a nice play in there, as well as Chase Spurl, number 55. So Cashin back deep. Obviously, he made the play, the long touchdown run, as well as Smith in the backfield. Punt up away by Jacoby, and it's a short punt. That one will be touched. Oh, got good job there by Smith as he noticed that a pointer definitely touched that and just dove on it, and that'll set up a 1st down and 10 from the 36-yard line. That was a very heads-up play there.
Yeah, definitely, especially after a couple weeks ago we were calling a game here, and punt touched the Pointers, and Mayville State got it. And I think it's set up for their touchdown.
So let's see. Yeah, it absolutely did for sure. It set up the ultimately what would be the game-sealing touchdown as Salmon ran that one in. As Schrader and company come back out on the field and look to continue the success on offense, lining up in about the pistol formation with Smith behind him and wide receivers both to his left now. Aguilera moving in motion. Aguilera, looks like they're going to set up the double pass. No, instead they're trying to go with the bubble screen, but sniffing that one out beautifully is Simpson College, as that one is just snuffed out. Excuse me, that was number 33 for Stevens Point.
Jeffrey Williams.
The
junior out of Broadhead, Wisconsin.
So they're going to say he managed to pick up 1 on that after it was a bit of a disastrous play. Jacobs and Aguilera lined up to Schrader's right. Number 0 for the Pointers, DJ Jacob, lined up to his left, faking the handoff. He'll throw it out wide. Another bubble screen. Instead, that one will be snuffed out again, but still fighting for extra yardage and managing to pick up about 3 on the play after there was just nothing, is Joe Aguilera. And now Stevens Point with still a bit of a 3rd down and long. They'll say 3rd down and 6, but more manageable than what would have been 3rd down and 9.
Definitely, the cornerback really snuffed that one out. He had his hands all over him as he caught it.
Now Schrader in the shotgun. Smith to his right, trips to his left. He'll take the snap, drop back to pass. Instant pressure in his face. He'll just get it out to Smith, and he'll try to fight his way up the sideline, and he won't get it. Be about 3 yards short, but good job by Schrader just getting that out of his hands. They're going to send out Unger here. I was wondering if they were going to try to go for it at about close to midfield. Their defense has really been shutting down Simpson to this point, so it wouldn't be that controversial to go for it. Instead, they're going to send out Unger and let the defense get them the ball back.
I mean, a lot of time left in the game still. We're only at 3.5 minutes left in the first quarter.
Unger took his sweet time, but that is, you can see why, as he gets out a beauty, and that one just finds the end zone. Beautiful punt there by Unger, but it finds the end zone, so Simpson will take over at their 20-yard line. So slow start for Simpson, as they're going to now look to try to get something going offensively here, as really they've just been going backwards on every drive that they've had, as now Alexander is going to try to, or excuse me, yes, Alexander and Jensen are going to try to get something going here offensively. Those have been the only two options that have given them some yardage. Worth lined up. Instead, they're going to hand it off to Alexander, and he'll slash his way, but he'll be met by a few pointers and driven backwards after he gains about 2 yards. That'll make it 2nd down and 8.
Looks like Cody Trowbridge on the tackle there, 6-foot junior out of Milledore, Wisconsin.
2nd and 7. They're going to give him a generous 3 on that first play. Is now Jensen has Alexander and 2 wide receivers to his left. Worth and Dahlgren. Takes the snap, dropping back to pass, looking deep, going to a wide open receiver, but he overshoots him as he was looking for Dahlgren. And that would have been a walk-in touchdown. There was not a pointer within 5 yards.
I'm almost shocked he didn't get it. I mean, it's right. It was almost right on the money, but just a little overthrown and not a great pass by Jensen there.
Just a little too much on that one, but you can see how they're an explosive offenses. That was definitely open, as very late substitutions by both sides, as Jensen now gets the offense set. Gavin Osten quickly or late getting in. Looks like a pointer came across. They're going to give him a free play, and quickly getting it out into the flat as the fullback, but he catches it and fumbles it out of bounds. So that'll go back to the point where he caught it. They had a free play. Jensen got the offense. Stevens Point trying to say there was no catch, as the referees and head linesmen are looking. They're going to say there's a little confusion here, as looks like the Simpson sideline didn't know that they had a free play. They'll make it 3rd down and 2. And offsides is the call. And I believe they said number 46, Ian Strove. So making this a much easier 3rd down here for Simpson. 3rd down and 2 here. 2:40 to go here in this first quarter. Stevens Point up 7-0. I'll hand it off to Alexander, and he'll slash his way and pick up the 1st down. Easily, nice push up there by the offensive line, and Simpson moves the sticks.
I believe that's the first time tonight they've moved the sticks.
It would seem that way, wouldn't it? If both offenses really struggling, except for that one Bryson Cash and House call. Other than that, both offenses have been really stagnant to this point. As now Jensen, for the first time tonight, will get a new set of downs. Lined up with Alexander in the backfield, and he'll take the handoff, give it over to Alexander, and he'll slash his way up and almost pop that one free, as he'll pick up close to about 9. And that is a nice little run here to start the downs, as Larry Bowe makes the stop for Stevens Point. They're going to say 2nd down and 2, pickup of 8 on that play. So Stevens Point defense giving up some chunk plays here on 1st down. as now Jensen will motion Alexander to his side, and he'll take the snap, fake the handoff, and now he'll drop back to pass, looking. Got pressure in his face by the pointers, and he'll run, try to get the edge, and tiptoe his way, and looks like he'll give him first down. He'll pick it up plenty by 2 yards, and that'll move the sticks again. So two straight times in this drive that Stevens Point has gotten a new set of downs here, as now Jensen and the Storm offense look like they got their rhythm back. Jensen now with Alexander in the backfield, Worth and number 85 out wide. That is Brody Fisherman, and that'll be a drop by Fisherman. Or excuse me, that's number 89 on the play, Isaiah Morgan, the 6'4" freshman out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. But drops, that's really got to be the theme for this Simpson College offense. It has just been nothing but drops.
The ball is in their hands every single time, and I don't know if their gloves are just wet from the temperature dropping and the moisture in their gloves. Who knows? But
I'm no scientist, but I don't think there's any moisture outside. As there's a wide open pass, but some great defense there by that was number 6 for Stevens Point, Tyson White, as he takes down number 11, Gavin Osteen, as that was a nice solid pickup. Again, a nice little chunk play, and that'll make it a much more manageable third down in 5.
And you're right, I'm not a scientist either. I'm just totally guessing on that. I don't know why they're dropping the ball tonight.
Yeah, well, you could be right, but you know, I don't see much moisture out there, as Jensen will take the snap and he'll roll out. Instead, he'll keep it himself and run, and he'll be dropped about 2 yards short. That'll make this about a 4th down and 2. So decision time here for Simpson. We'll see if they take it to the second quarter here. This is where you got to be aware of Stevens Point. They line up. They're going to try to go for a hard count here and get the first down. 5 seconds to go here. And they will just take it to the second quarter. So Stevens Point will take this one 7-0 here into the second quarter. I want to talk a little bit about what's been different on this drive so far for Simpson College to really cut into this lead here.
I feel like it looks like they're opening up the run game more. Stevens Point was doing a great job at stopping the run game most of the first quarter there. But it looks like Simpson's really finding their groove with the running game and trying to get the passing game there, but a lot of drops out of them, just not helping their cause.
Yeah, it's and you can't fault Jensen on this one, because he's really been delivering good passes, but his wide receivers dropping it, notably Hunter Dahlgren, a few drops, but only one instance where he overshot his wide receiver, as Dahlgren was running free down the middle of the field. And really, you got to point to some plays. If maybe it goes Simpson's way, this is a tie ball game here. But instead, Stevens Point, they are still up 7-0 here, looking for their first win of the season. As started slow offensively, and to this point still started slow, but one explosive play by Bryson Cashin makes this a 7-0 game. But Simpson is on the march, and they will send the punting unit out, as it looks like they really are just trying to draw Stevens Point off sides, and now they're just going to look to pin him deep as Jacoby comes back out onto the field. So Stevens Point didn't have anybody back deep. Instead, now they'll run somebody out. Tyson White back deep for Stevens Point, and timeout taken by Stevens Point. Yikes. That's not something you want to have happen. Coming out of a quarter, you can't get guys lined up to do a kick return, right?
Punt return, yeah. You got to get the guys lined up to be able to get somewhere with the punt. Even if it goes out of bounds, you never know what you can get out of a return. It's good to have those guys out there that can return the ball, get some yards. A guy like Bryson Cashin, as he's walking out on the field now, he's definitely a guy that can return the ball, and as we saw a couple weeks ago on kick returns, I mean, huge kick return touchdown out of him.
Yeah, he's an athlete, and you got to get the ball in his hands any way you can. Kind of reminds me a little bit of, I don't want to say it, he reminds me a little bit of Taysom Hill in a way that he can line up in the Wildcat, line up as a wide receiver, even be a running back, and just really a Swiss Army knife. Instead, looks like Simpson's now, thanks to Stevens Point, they gave him some time to think about it. Simpson's going to line up and go for it now.
Don't blame the call on there by Simpson. I mean,
you're gifted a timeout. Yeah, might as well take it. As now, it looks like maybe they're going to try to do a pooch kick. Instead, they will, as Jensen will send this one deep, and that'll take a fortunate Stevens Point bounce as it checked up at about the, they're going to say, the 18-yard line. So that's where Stevens Point and Schrader will get the offense going here. 14:52 here in this second quarter, as the Stevens Point offense comes back out onto the field, rocking the black unis with pink numbers. Really looking good out there on this pink day. Man, both sides here on the field, both stands are really filling up here. There's a lot of people coming out and showing their support here for their Pointers and the cancer awareness game as Smith in motion. They'll do that triple option again, and they'll hand it up the middle, and that'll go absolutely nowhere. I'm really confused and wondering what they're seeing to run that play, because every time they've done it so far, they've gotten nothing.
I don't know if it's just a quick hit play that they can maybe get a few yards out of it, but it looks like Simpson's really wrapping it up there.
It's definitely something that they must have seen in film study this week, as triple option really hasn't worked, as now Schrader will still go down low into, looks like the triple option again. In motion, Cashin. Cashin will take it, go out the sideline, and he lost the ball. That one's on the deck, and did he get it?
Looks like he got it.
Ooh, disaster avoided there for the Pointers, as Cashin's able to fall back on top of it and make this about a 3rd down and 5 here. So, man, just another thing that makes you question maybe why you run that play.
I mean, he had the running room, I think. It just
got to hold on to the ball.
Yeah, ball security.
So 7-0, Stevens Point still on top with the ball here. 3rd down and 3. Now Schrader lined up in the pistol formation. He'll motion Aguilera to the other side at the top. DJ Jacob, as they're looking like that he's going to just run a slant, and Schrader looking. He'll get it back over to, that's number 28. Now running up the sidelines for Stevens Point, number 28,
Seth
Forbes, one of the freshmen on this team, the youngsters.
Actually a senior out of Manawa, Wisconsin.
Whoop. Yep.
There is 2 number 28s on the team. It's definitely not helping us.
No, it's not. That's, yeah. I blame that one on there being 2 number 28s. So, yeah. But instead, Seth Forbes moves the chains, and a nice little pickup there, taking his time with Schrader. You got to give him credit as he stood tall and strong there in the pocket, finds his open receiver.
And definitely something he hasn't been able to do tonight.
No, it is not. And lining up in the backfield is Forbes in motion. Aguilera, he'll swing out, and they'll hand it up the middle. They'll fake the handoff, actually. Schrader looking, pressure in his face, now rolls out. He's still looking, and just throws this one away. Wise play there by the quarterback, Schrader.
A lot of pressure by Lorante Lewis, a 6'2 sophomore out of Houston, Texas. All over Schrader there.
Yeah, I got to credit Lewis there on the play. Really blew up any chance at something happening there, as he really just went right up the middle, unblocked there by the Pointers offensive line. Something they got to get a little bit better at is protection, pass protection-wise, as Schrader has really been running for his life on a few plays here tonight. And they're going to line up again. The backfield is number 28 for Stevens Point again. Got to look and see if we get the right number this time. Seth Forbes again, and they will.
Looks like an incomplete pass to Sam Armstead, the 6'4 sophomore out of Nashville, Tennessee.
So, incomplete pass for Armstead. Checking into the game for Stevens Point, number 33, Jeffrey Williams. Checking out number 40, Matt Gertgen, the tight end / fullback. Schrader now with a 3rd down and 10 situation here at about their own 45-yard line. In motion, Aguilera. He'll now get set, and looking like they're bringing a blitz here is Simpson, as Schrader will throw it over the middle, and that one is dropped. A little behind him, looking for his receiver. Checking in, that was number 33 for Stevens Point, Jeffrey Williams, Carter Unger on to punt for Stevens Point. So a drop, but a drop for Stevens Point ends the drive, as that would have actually been enough, or at least been enough to get to the sticks and maybe make it close. If they didn't get it, make it a decision on 4th down. But instead, Unger on to kick it, and he will take his time and get up another beauty of a kick. And that one will take a bounce for the Pointers and get down to about the 1-yard line. So great job by the Pointers special teams as they pin the Storm deep.
That's a huge punt. Nice boot by Unger there.
Great job there by the special teams. Carter Unger definitely showing up for the Stevens Point special teams tonight. 7-0 lead here in the Stevens Point 2022 paint game, as now Simpson pinned deep. We'll look and see if Stevens Point will try to bring some pressure here and try to get a safety, as this is dangerous territory for Simpson. And Jensen will take the snap, hand it up the middle to Alexander, or instead they're going to hammer their way straight ahead. That actually looked like number 26 or 35 for the Storm, Aubrey Gillard. Nice play there by Gilliard to move the sticks, and that'll give him a little bit more running room. Why not go right back to him? And the Pointers have this one stuffed out, and looks like no gain on the play, making it 2nd down and 10. So nice little boost there by Gilliard as he gives Alexander a breather.
Looks like they gave him a generous yard.
A generous yard, but Stevens Point defense missed opportunity to maybe pin him after they pinned him deep at the 1-yard line for an old-fashioned 2-pointer, but instead they'll have to get another stop here. 2nd down and 9, and moving out is Jensen. He'll looking. He'll just toss this one deep and caught. Oh, my goodness.
No, it looks incomplete, actually. He might have been out of bounds on that.
Looks like they're going to say he didn't get a foot into bounds, looking deep for Worth, his number 1 receiver, but a very athletic play there by Jensen.
I mean, credit to Worth. That's a tough catch to make.
Man, that looked pretty close to me. Obviously, referees and the side judge see a little bit better than we do up here, but that was a very athletic play there by both Jensen and Worth. But now 3rd down and 9 here, backed up in the deep in their own territory. Trips to his left, and Gilliard to his right. Now looking to pass, looking, got pressure in his face, and now he'll just tuck it and run, and he will not get it. Stevens Point makes another stop on 3rd down and forces Simpson College to punt. They're going to say he'll pick up about 5 on the play, making it 4th down and 4. And now Stevens Point with a chance to get good field position here, as Cashin and Williams will be back for the punt. So good defensive play tonight by the Pointers, obviously not allowing a point here, but really solid play all around.
Yeah, definitely. They've been stopping the run game. The passing game hasn't been there for Simpson. This is a short punt.
Man, they can't get to about midfield, and that's where Stevens Point will take over. So some great field position and a chance for Stevens Point to put some more points on the board here as we approach about 10 minutes to go until halftime. As we'll try to refresh it here and get a look at some scores around the WIAC. We'll toss it over to Brody and see if he's got any updates here.
Looks like lacrosse football is up 21-14 in the 3rd quarter against Wayne State.
Lacrosse.
Now it's actually 21-21. It just updated with 11 and a half minutes left in the 3rd quarter. So a close game between Wayne State and lacrosse.
Lacrosse picked to finish 2nd in the WIAC in the preseason. One of the top teams every year in the WIAC. In motion for the Pointers, number 3. Now Schrader will drop back to pass. Instant pressure in his face, and he'll just take off and run and get close to that 1st down yardage. So great play there by Trey Schrader to avoid the sack and take off for about 9.
Just a little short, but great running play by Schrader. Also looking at scores, River Falls, probably the favorite to win the WIAC this year, up 21-0 against Northwestern out of Minnesota.
And River Falls, Stevens Point's next opponent after this pink game here. Cashin lined up again in the Wildcat. Obviously, you remember early in this game, he took one to the house, and Cashin will go right up the middle and pick up the first down yardage. As that ball popped out, no, it didn't pop out. But once again, Bryson Cashin using that little Taysom Hill sort of play there, and he'll take it himself, go up the middle, and pick up the first down and move the sticks for Stevens Point.
I'm not saying the Wildcat is really working for the Pointers, but, I mean,
it's working for the Pointers.
It definitely is.
Definitely maybe something that they've kind of adapted to if they've seen that as they're going to line up with it again. Schrader lined up out to his right, and Cashin will tuck it and run up the middle, and he's open in the open field again, and he's on his way at the 20, at the 15, 10, 5, touchdown Pointers. Bryson Cashin cashes in another touchdown.
3 for 3 with the Wildcat during this game. That's pretty impressive. Looking like the 2008 Miami Dolphins, who ran the Wildcat against the Patriots and actually won the game. Really off the Wildcat, and it's been huge for the Pointers tonight.
Now Pontario on for the extra point, as Bryson Cashin has just been all over the field, really been the MVP for Stevens Point so far. As here comes the kick, and that one is blocked. So this one remains a 13-0 game. But Bryson Cashin, with his second rushing touchdown of the game, extends the lead, making it 13-0. And now Stevens Point has a 2-score lead. Man, this is really what the Pointers needed after 2 straight weeks of really struggling offensively. Now struggled a little bit to start the game, but now the offense is humming a little bit, and thanks to Bryson Cashin, they're getting some momentum going here.
Definitely, they've lost a couple close games here, and now they're up 13-0 with 9:10 left in the second quarter. Definitely a good lead. Definitely would like that field goal, but still a generous lead for the Pointers here as Pontiero sets up for the kick.
So Pontario here for the kickoff here. As now Stevens Point will kick this one away and send their defense, which has been really stout today. All you could ask for on their end. Pontario gets ready to wind up and will send this one away. And now the Storm will take this one out of the end zone at the 10, now towards the 15, and he will get leveled by the Pointers. That is number 46 for Stevens Point, 46.
Ian Struve, the 6'1 freshman out of Plymouth, Wisconsin.
Man, he just planted the returner, number 11, Gavin Osteen, for the Storm. Now this is really a crucial drive, I would say. As we're getting towards the midway point here of this second quarter, their offense really hasn't done much, apart from really mainly one drive where they got to about midfield. But other than that, the Storm haven't done anything. Alexander lined up in the backfield. They'll hand it up to him up the middle, and he will slash his way for a nice pickup. Looks like about 4 yards. That'll make it second down and 6.
It definitely just a couple good plays for Simpson there that led a few drives, but not a whole lot going offensively for them. I don't even know have they passed the 50-yard line.
If they have, it's been short-lived. Dahlgren lined up wide. He's got his wide receiver, Cameron Jones, as well to his left. Now he'll take the snap, hand it off to Alexander, and Alexander will fight his way for about a gain of 2, and that'll make it third down. Third down and 3. So Stevens Point, again, with a chance if they can stuff Simpson on this one to get their defense off the field and give their offense another chance to score here before halftime. Looks like they're bringing pressure. Jensen sensed it. Instead, he'll hand it off the middle to Alexander, and he'll slash his way, and he'll be able to pick up the first down. So kind of expecting a blitz. Offensive line does their job, open up a hole, and that'll move the sticks. Stevens Point now getting ready, getting their defense set. A little unsure, are they? And now instead they'll move motion Worth and number 17. That is Hunter Dahlgren out wide. Instead, they'll take the snap. Jensen will hand it off to Alexander. Alexander waiting patiently, banging his way and picking up about 3 or 4 on the play. That'll make it second down and 6 or 7.
A couple pointers trying to strip the ball out there, just not doing it for him.
Not able to get the ball out. Instead, it makes it second down and 7. So a gain of 3 on the play by Alexander. Really been he's been the focus of this, as it's been 5 straight runs now for the Storm. Instead, they'll fake the handoff and now just flip it over the middle, and another drop. Goodness. That was the tight end, Tim Wilburn, the 6'3 sophomore out of Oak, Kansas. Man, you really can't fault him, Jensen, as he was rolling out to his left, really nothing doing, and throws a cross-body pass right on the money, and his wide receiver drops it.
I mean, how many drop passes for them tonight? It's been hard on Jensen there. He's definitely has the good passing there. Just his receivers are really not helping him there.
Without question, as they're going to take a timeout and have a little discussion here as they're facing a 3rd down and 7 here. But if you're Simpson and you look at this and going into halftime, regardless of what happens, is we got 6:50 to go here in the second quarter. You gotta. The main thing you would think that's going to be discussed is, guys, we got to catch this football. We can't keep doing all these drops.
I mean, how many? I think they have like 1 reception really.
Yeah.
It's hard to pinpoint if they have one or not, but definitely going into halftime, you got to talk to your guys. Hey, can we catch the ball tonight?
Right, without question. I think that's definitely going to be the main point of emphasis by the offense, as Stevens Point, with another chance to get their defense off the field and get it back to their offense, who has really been humming after last drive. So it looks like a little bit of pressure here from the edge. Looks like they're bringing 4. Instead now it looks like they're going to maybe drop out of it, as Jensen will take the snap, and they do drop out of it. Jensen will throw a little side route. Oh, and reading that one was Bo, and that one could have been a house call, but instead he breaks this one up, and that'll make it 4th down and 7, and the punt team will come on. So good job by Bo breaking it up. Could have been an interception, but either way, Stevens Point going to get the football back.
Huge stop there. Definitely would have been 1st down yardage for Simpson there.
Cashin and Williams back deep for Stevens Point. Jacoby back out to punt, as the Stevens Point defense has been, offensively it's been Bryson Cashin for Stevens Point. Defensively, it's just been the whole defense. They've really given up nothing, as Jacoby with a punt, and that one will be corralled by Williams at about their 45-yard line. So once again, Stevens Point with great field position, as the offense will get set to come back on here and get some more points here to end the half.
Definitely something Point wants to do to put themselves up by a lot at half. They definitely have enough time to do it.
The question here also is, obviously the failed extra point. If Stevens Point would happen to score a touchdown, do you go for 2 and make it a 3-score game? It'll be a 3-score game regardless, but make it that 21. Instead, Schrader will now get the handoff. He'll hand it up the middle to Smith, and Smith will bounce his way, keep the legs churning, and he'll be stopped after about 2-yard gain. So good job there by the Storm, only giving up 2 on the play and subbing out of the game. Number 3 checking out for number 33. That's Williams checking in for the Pointers. Number 3, Colton Marta.
Going back to if Point scores here, if they go for 2, 1 point can make all the difference when you think about it, as it looks like 2 backfield set here with it looks like Cashin and maybe Reed Smith in the backfield there. Hard to tell from here. As a handoff to Cashin. Oh, actually, it's kept by Schrader, who goes up for about a gain of looks like 6.
Stop made there by Mason Little, the 6-foot defensive back out of Montgomery, Texas. But nice little quarterback keeper there by Schroeder. He really fooled us up here in the booth. Nice play offensively, and that'll make it to third down and manageable. And then, back to the point here. If you don't pick up anything on the play, do you go for it? Your defense has given up virtually nothing today. That'll be a question if they don't make it. Cashin again in the Wildcat, and he'll run out to the edge, and he'll break loose once again, going down the sideline and get pushed out at about the 25-yard line. So null that point of whether or not they're going to go for it on fourth down as Bryson Cashin takes it again.
We talked about before how Simpson will probably go into halftime talking about how we got to start catching the ball. They're probably going to start talking about how can we stop the Wildcat.
You got to stop Bryson Cashin in particular, really. That offense has been
really having his way.
Yeah, Bryson Cashin has really been doing everything as Aguilera's in motion, and now Schrader will take the snap. He'll hand it up the middle to Smith, and that'll go nowhere. Pick up maybe about 1 on the play, and that'll be second down and 9. But I really like what the offense is showing here lately, starting off a little slow, but now they've kind of rebounded and are starting to get things go again.
Yeah, getting to the flow of things and moving the ball down the field, and hopefully they're going to score here before halftime with 4 1/4 minutes there.
So 4 minutes and 10 seconds as Schrader now lines up. Jacob and Aguilera to his right. Now Jacob motions in, and Schrader will fake the pass, now run to the edge, and he'll try to pick up about 5, and he'll be hit down and make it about a third down and 6. Here with 3:45 to go in the second quarter. So the ball at the 23-yard line as Stevens Point has a third down and 6 here and a chance to try to cash in and get some more points. Let's look to see if they get Bryson Cashin involved as Aguilera and Jacob lined up out wide. Schrader now gets ready, looking like Simpson's going to bring some pressure, and they do go a little bit all out as Schrader now throw it over the middle, but he underthrows his open receiver as number 40 for Stevens Point. Matt Gertgen was running free through the middle of the field, and he couldn't find his wide receiver, and that'll be a fourth down play. Instead, looks like they're going to bring on the field goal on Ponterio.
I mean, a wide open touchdown right there for Getchin there, but just a little underthrown in it. Now hopefully leads to field goal here, put some points on the board here for Stevens Point.
Definitely had his tight end fullback, and now Ponterio looking for a field goal, and they're going to say he missed it, and that'll make it still a 13-0 game, but Stevens Point unable to get anything out of this most recent offensive drive.
I don't know, from our angle, I thought he had it.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. It looked like obviously anything from our angle looks like it went well. From our angle, that looked like a 99-yard touchdown. But nonetheless, Stevens Point with a missed field goal, and now Jensen back on the field with 3:09 to try to get something on the board here. Try to get something positive going into halftime. Taking their sweet time, are they? Now Jensen gets ready for the snap. Alexander a motion to his side. Jensen will now look to fire to the sideline, and that one will be caught for a gain of about 3. That's number 49, Cole Romdahl, the 6-foot tight end. So that'll get about 3 or 4, they're going to say. Make it 2nd and 6. Jensen now drops back to pass. He's looking deep, throws it over the middle, and he was looking for his wide receiver. That's number 2, Cameron Jones on the play. He had him if he could hit him in the numbers. Instead, throws it a little in front of him, and now it makes it 3rd down at 6.
Maybe Point gets it back here. Maybe could put some points on the board still with 2.5 minutes left.
Got all 3 timeouts, and and 2:37. The clock's not running. Stevens Point looking like they're going to just drop back in coverage. They're sending 4. Jensen quickly gets the ball out, and that one's caught. And that'll be about a yard short. Or no, they're going to say move the sticks. Wow. So Stevens Point unable to get him off the field, but good job by Jensen, able to keep his calm and get out a good ball, and that'll move the sticks. Alexander motions to his side. He'll hand it off to him, and he'll go up the middle and pick up about 4 or 5. Looks like actually they'll say he'll pick up about 6 and make it 2nd down and 4. So a nice chunk play there by Alexander on the rush, as they've got about 2:15 here in the 2nd quarter. Carter Beauchert with the tackle. They'll hand it right back off to Alexander, and he'll get the edge and hammer his way down to about the 59-yard of Stevens Point, as a nice aggressive run there by Alexander, and this Simpson College offense is on the move.
I think this is the first time they've been over midfield this game. It's been a struggle for Simpson on offense here, but they're finding their stride right now.
Finding their stride indeed, as Jensen now drops back, looks over the middle and looking for Worth, and he overshoots him. Worth was open, had a step on the defensive back, but instead it overshoots his receiver, and that'll fall incomplete, making it 2nd down and 10.
Definitely had a touchdown there, I think, if he connected there.
Definitely would have had a chance at it, had a step in front of his defensive back, as Dahlgren, Jones, and Hartengar. They'll get it out to Jones, and he'll quickly be smothered up and fight his way forward for a gain of about 6, as Jones with the reception. And that ball will make it up to about the Stevens Point 43-yard line. And that'll make it 3rd down and 4 here, so another chance for Stevens Point to try to get a stop.
Clock is really winding down here for Simpson to score here. As
Jensen drops back to pass. He'll run out to his left. Really could just run, and now he'll just heave it downfield, and that one will fall incomplete. Looking for Jones, and Jensen unable to connect with him, and there's a little chirping back and forth between Jones and number 6 for the Pointers, Tyson White. White in coverage. And now making it 4th down and 4. And with 56 seconds left, looks like Simpson's going to keep the offense out there.
I mean, no question. Try to maybe get a 1st down here and score some points before the half.
As looks like Simpson's going to take a timeout and talk this one over before this crucial 4th down play. 56 seconds left here in this 2nd quarter as we get close to halftime, as we'll try to update you a little bit on some scores around the WIAC, as we'll throw it over to Brody here and he'll give us a little update.
Looks like River Falls is up 21-6 with 6:52 left in the 2nd quarter. River Falls, as we said, is probably the favorite to win the WIAC this year. UW La Crosse still tied 21-21 with Wayne State out of Michigan with 6:01 left in the 3rd quarter. As we said in the pregame, looks like we have Stout winning 28-25. And we couldn't get any scores from Oshkosh and Platteville, as looks like the offense is going back out for Simpson here.
So Jensen will come back out here, as one of his running backs is Zach Aubrey Gillard, actually lined up next to him. As they'll take the snap, Jensen looks back to pass. Instead, he'll drop it and run up the middle, and he'll get stopped short. Great play there by the Stevens Point defense, as this time we could see it as the line to gain was right about our vantage point here, but Stevens Point defense steps up and gets the stop. Now they have 50 seconds left and 2 timeouts left before we get to halftime.
Definitely could sky the ball here and maybe try to score, just keep it easy going into halftime, but if you're the Pointers, you probably want to put points on the board or even get close to it.
You would think you'll see Schrader take some deep passes here. as now the clock begins to, it will not begin to run as now Williams in motion. Schrader takes the snap, fakes the handoff. Instead, he'll look, got some pressure in his face. He's still looking, and he'll just heave this one out of bounds. Ooh, that one was a little bit of a dangerous pass as Schrader hits the carpet. So a play that took up about 9 seconds, so a nice chunk of time results in an incompletion and 2nd down and 10.
Just a reminder, the Storm take the ball in the second half.
That's right.
So maybe the Pointers want to try to run up the score here a little bit going into halftime. Maybe just make it hard for Simpson to put points on the board.
I want to make it a little bit more difficult. There's no question about it. In motion is Williams. Schrader looking up the middle, got a receiver instead. It's a little high and a drop as they were running a little bit of a, not necessarily an out route, but a deep out. And that one falls incomplete. 2 straight incompletions by Schrader. And that one takes about 5 seconds off the clock, making it 3rd down and 10 with 36 seconds to go. Do you play content here or being up 13, just run a little draw play up the middle here?
I mean, maybe just try to get the first down, get some yards. You still have 2 timeouts left. If you want to do something, I wouldn't air it all out.
Could see that. Could play a little conservative. Instead, they're going to drop back to pass, and Simpson will bring some pressure. Going deep, has a man, and it's caught down deep in Storm territory. That was Williams on the catch, so that brings up any question we had if they're just going to be content and take it into halftime. Instead, Schrader with a beautiful deep pass to Williams, and they connect for a big gainer, and that'll move the chains, and Stevens Point will have the ball at the opposing team's 16-yard line when they come back out of their timeout.
Definitely a good play to call, wide open. I mean, he is just a missed tackle away from a touchdown there, but that's a huge play for the Pointers, and it really sets them up here in almost the red zone there. So hopefully Stevens Point here can just cash it in, maybe run up the score, maybe go for a 2-point conversion since their field goal got blocked before, so maybe be up 21-0 at half.
Well, it brings up the question. You had 2 timeouts left to go. Obviously, you want to give your offense a chance here, but when in college rules, the clock stops after you pick up a first down. Do you want to? Is this a strategy point that you want to get a good play out here? That's why you call a timeout. You don't want to rush things in that 2-minute drill.
Probably just keep it easy on them, kind of get them set up to maybe run a play that who knows that Simpson's never seen or the Point's never really run.
Now this is it's obviously you got 1 timeout left here. This is where Stevens Point also wants to be a tad careful. If you run a running play, you got to quickly get up to the offensive line, to the line of scrimmage and snap it. Instead of low snap, Schrader corrals it, and now he'll look to run up the middle. He'll tuck it, he'll run, he'll go up the middle, and he'll find his way into the end zone as Schrader runs this one in, and Stevens Point makes this a 19-0 game, and the Pointers now have full control of this one.
Huge play. Great awareness by Schrader to run up the middle there. That's a huge play for the Pointers to put them up by more at half now.
And instead of the 2-point, try to make it a 21-0 game, they're just going to send out Pontario for the extra point and try to make this one a 20-0 game. And here comes the snap, hold by Unger, kick is up, and it is plenty good, making this a 20-0 game. Stevens Point putting it all on the board here in this second quarter as the offense is finally clicking.
Huge drive for the Pointers there to put them up by more. Hopefully their kickoff team can just pin them deep and leave no chance for Simpson to drive down the field.
Yeah, without question. 19 seconds left. This seems like they do have 1 timeout left, but this seems like maybe a kneel down and take it to halftime here for Stevens Point. Or excuse me, take it to halftime for Simpson, as not really anything has gone right for them offensively, but you got to credit that Stevens Point defense. They've been all over the place tonight.
Definitely big stops on the run game in the first quarter there, and it's been huge big stops on the passing game now to set the Pointers up to score here as Pontiero is going for the kick. Fairly deep kick. Looks like it's returned out of the end zone by number 11. As he gets a...
Oh, what a hit there by number 41 for the Pointers.
Matthew Stefani, sorry, the freshman out of Kiel, Wisconsin.
Big time hit there on Osteen, excuse me. As now Simpson with just 12 seconds to go here in this half. It looks like they're just going to line up and take a knee, or no. It looks like they're lining up for a play. Maybe a few heaves down the field, see if they can't come up with something a little interesting, or maybe they're just going to run it up the middle and they're going to just hand it off to Alexander. And Alexander with actually a decent run here with 7 seconds left. So actually, nice little chunk yardage play there. See if Stevens Point's got to put a few guys deep and try to set up and get ready for that Hail Mary. Now it's only 2 seconds left. You either got to do a hook and ladder or a Hail Mary situation. We'll see if Jensen can get the ball to the end zone and be close to about 60 yards if he can get it down there.
I think he has the arm to do it. He's definitely shown it tonight. He has the arm to heave it downfield. It's just hopefully he hits his target.
So Stevens Point, or they're gonna add 2 seconds to the clock, making it 4 seconds until halftime. Stevens Point up 20-0. Again, you're listening here to Pointers Football, brought to you by UWSP, Stevens Point 90 FM, and SPTV. So a good game here if you're a Pointers fan, up 20-0 here at halftime, or close to halftime, 4 seconds to halftime, I should say. As they will line up, looks like they're going to line up for a Hail Mary kind of situation. Stevens Point got 3 defensive backs back there.
Only 2 down linemen looking to rush here.
So they're going to bring an extra rusher on the edge, and now Jensen's just going to heave one. That one's going to be a little short and picked off by the Pointers, as that is number 6 for Stevens Point, Tyson White, with the interception, and that's how you end the half, with a bang with an interception. So Stevens Point goes into the half with a 20-0 lead here, and we're going to step aside for the halftime, and we'll see you back here at the beginning of the second half. Again, you're listening to Stevens Point Football here on WWSP, Stevens Point 90 FM, and SPTV. And a welcome back here to Gerke Field and UW Stevens Point football, presented here on WWSP Stevens Point 90 FM and also brought to you by SPTV. 20-0 is your score here at half. We'll break into a little bit of stats here. I'll hand it over to Brody and he can kind of take a look at what we got here.
So looking at the Pointers' first half, they are up 20-0. 8 first downs achieved by the Pointers there. 21 rushes for 116 yards, 73 passing yards, 5 for 12 in terms of passing. So in total, 33 plays for 189 yards for the Pointers. 1 interception towards the end of the first half right there to kind of set up for halftime there. Couple punts by the Pointers. Their offense was a little stagnant in the first quarter. Both offenses really were stagnant. But a couple of big touchdowns, especially by Bryson Cashin, who had one touchdown, one long touchdown for looks like he gained 70 yards in total first half, which might be wrong. He definitely had a long touchdown. It looks like only 38 yards touchdown. It seemed longer for us.
I think it's
up here.
almost missing because I could have sworn that he had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, it looks like it's missing on our sheet right here.
Yeah,
but
the first one is definitely missing, but Bryson Cashin has definitely had 2 touchdowns. We're missing that on here, but regardless, Bryson Cashin been that spark there. But the passing game it hasn't been the same, but still a little bit of improvement there.
And definitely, they started getting the passing game going at the end of the second quarter there, right before halftime. Trey Schrader's really looking pretty good, 5 for 12 with 73 yards. It still doesn't have a touchdown there passing-wise, but he did have a rushing touchdown to put him up by 20. So big half for him, I'd say, for a good start for Schrader. Hopefully he continues it in the second half. And now looking at Simpson College here, no points on the board for them. They've really haven't got it past halfway on the field there, but I guess it's a testament to Pointers' defense. They've been stopping them.
Without question, but one thing that also has to be pointed out is the drops that the Storm have had. You can't really blame Jensen on a lot of even the interception at the late of the half wasn't really an egregious thing because you're just trying to go to get some points at the end of the half. So it wasn't a bad interception by any means. But he really hasn't had much help tonight. He's made a few plays scrambling with his legs, but his receivers keep dropping his balls.
I mean, 5 completions out of 17. It's not a great look. I mean, both teams both have 5 completions, but it just seems like Simpson College everything thrown to them is just, stone hands almost. It's
been hard for them especially, but also got to point out the fact Carter Unger had a big-time punt at one point in the game where he pinned the Storm down at the 1-yard line. Now they got a first down, but Stevens Point able to force them to punt, and that was one of their scoring drives. Actually, that was one of the drives they missed the field goal on. But regardless, Stevens Point offense has been functioning better this game than we have seen in the previous ones that they've been in.
Yeah, definitely. It's looking a lot better for the Pointers. They're getting their offensive going, especially with the Wildcat. They scored twice on it. And it's been huge for them in the first half, but maybe Simpson College looked at that halftime and said, hey, how can we stop this from continuing to happen? But hopefully the Pointers, they can continue this stretch going as they'll be kicking off at the start of the second half here.
Yeah, without question. But Simpson's going to start with the ball, like you said. To start this half, Stevens Point's going to send their defense out. Look to see if Stevens Point can set the momentum for the second half and get Simpson off the field to start, as the defense has been phenomenal to this point today.
Definitely a lot of good stops by the Pointers on defense, especially in the first quarter. They were stopping the run game like Simpson College couldn't get anything going. in terms of the run game and the passing game. As we said before, a lot of drop passes by Simpson that definitely kill their drives and doesn't set them up for good plays going down the stretch. But it's a testament to the Pointers defense. They've been playing pretty well tonight, and their offense is doing their best too.
Some missed shots going down the field as well, as Jensen had some wide receivers running free in behind some Pointers defensive backs, but he couldn't connect with that, and that's why we still sit at a 20-0 game here, as Stevens Point and Simpson will take the field again, as for the first time this season, the Pointers have had a lead at halftime.
It's very huge for them.
As you know, the first game they were down 17-21. Then last game they were actually down 7-14, and then St. Norbert went on to win it 21-14. But Stevens Point up for the first time at the half this season, and now we'll kick it away and get ready to start here in the third quarter. And here we are, opening kick by Ponterio, as he will, ooh, this one's angling out of bounds, and a mistake on the opening kick of the half as Ponterio boots it out of bounds, and now the Storm are going to have great field position with the ball at the 35-yard line. Yikes.
Yeah, not a great kick, but it looked like he was just trying to set it up in the corner, almost like a coffin corner punt, but it just a little too much on it, and it bounces out. It looked like at the 3-yard line.
Yeah, not a good play there on the opening kick. So giving up free yardage, that's not something you want to do here. As now Jensen will look to pass. He'll throw it out to Worth, his number one target, and he'll scamper his way for a first down and a pickup of 12 here to start the half. So that's the connection we were wondering when they were going to find one another, as Jensen and Worth. And they finally do with a pickup of 12, and they're going to move the sticks here to start the half.
Like we said before in the pregame, that Reed Worth last game, 5 receptions, 147 yards for 2 touchdowns.
A great start for the Storm, as now they hand it off to Alexander, who'll fight his way up the middle for about 6, and that'll make it 2nd down and 4. Van Ness with the stop, as the Storm will now kind of slow it down a bit. Jensen makes a call, and now they'll get things going back again. Dahlgren lined up with Worth to his right. Jensen takes the snap. He's looking. He'll throw it deep and out route, and caught beautifully this time by Dahlgren. Guy who dropped a few passes in the first half. He picks this one up for a nice gainage, and the Storm are on the move to start the half.
Yeah, definitely something the Pointers don't want to see, but the Storm are really catching the ball now, especially after that first half.
Seems like maybe what they said at halftime has started to work to this point, as Stevens Point defense not set very well. Jensen now drops back to pass. He's got his tight end over the middle. Didn't see him, and now will throw it straight to the end zone, and that one is caught. But is he in bounds? Oh, my goodness. They're going to say he got a foot in bounds. What a play by Jensen, as he's able to hook up with Worth for the touchdown. What a beautiful play, and what a way to start the half for the Storm.
Definitely a good start by them in the second half here. That's a tough catch to make, to get a foot in bounds, and I'm kind of shocked he got in.
Well, it took the referee a minute to look at it, but he ultimately made the decision. Foot in bounds. And that is the first points of the day for Simpson College. They're going to look to try to add on and complete the point after, as they went right down the field. A 65-yard drive results in a touchdown for the Storm. So, man, What a way to start the half for your Simpson offense, but what a poor way to start the half if you're the Pointers defense.
Most definitely not a great way to start the second half here to open up for your offense. But Simpson's really looking like they got it, especially after that drive. They really drove down the field there.
Without question, they drove right down the field, and that's, if you're the Pointers defense, or I mean, if you're if you're the Simpson fan, you're probably wondering where in the world was that the entire first half, as they just shredded this defense that to this point has been just stout against them.
Yeah, definitely, especially in the passing game, they were really stopping them. But after this drive, I'm not sure about that.
Now, Stevens Point with a chance to respond here after they just really got punched in the face by this Simpson offense. Cashin back deep along with Williams. Cashin obviously is dangerous whenever he gets the ball in his hand, and Cashin will let this one bounce before he takes it and starts his trip up the field. He'll get to about the 25-yard line and push his way, gets to the 30, still going, gets to the 36-yard line before he's taken down.
I definitely think if he had another block or two there, he might have taken it to the house. That's a pretty solid return.
Could have popped that one free. Bryson Cashin with a nice little response there on the kick return. And he brings the ball out to about the 37-yard line. That's where Stevens Point and Trey Schrader will start. So Schrader with a solid end of the first half after a shaky first quarter and a half. Kind of started to pick it up and was able to connect with Williams with a deep shot and then used his legs and scored. So a clean game by Schrader. So far, he'll hand it up the middle to Smith, and the Storm will snuff that one out. That one's going nowhere. He'll be lucky to pick up a yard. It'll make it second down and long.
Not a whole lot going for Reed Smith tonight, especially after a couple weeks ago. A huge game out of him, but it's a testament to Simpson College really stuffing the run here.
So we'll see how Simpson's defense can really dial it up here. If they can stop Stevens Point and get the ball back to their offense, which went right down the field, that would be big for them. Instead, Schrader now with Aguilera in motion. They'll hand it off around the edge. No, he'll fake it. Running right up the middle, had fooled everybody, and Schrader uses his legs and picks up a first down. What a play.
He's definitely not – he definitely loves to use his legs. Not afraid to do anything or not afraid to use them.
Not afraid to do the dirty work.
Yeah, definitely. As a quarterback, you don't want to hurt yourself while doing it, but Schrader's really punching it in, especially after a good touchdown there in the first half.
Now Schrader with Aguilera Smith and Reed Smith and Cashin. Now fake the handoff to Cashin and keep it and go up the middle again for a quarterback kind of little RPO action as the defense kind of focused in upon Bryson Cashin as he's really been an electric on the offense tonight. Instead, they'll get a nice little chunk yardage, pick up 5, and make it second down and 5 here. .37 to go here in this second half, third quarter. Schrader now gets the offense going with Cashin and Smith lined up. He'll hand it off to Cashin, who finds the edge, and he'll dart his way up to the first down, banging off defenders, and he'll fight his way all the way over to the Simpson 37-yard line, making it first down and 10, Stevens Point. And it seems like every time he gets the ball in his hands, he's just electric. Almost, we made the similarities to Taysom Hill, similar to almost Christian McCaffrey, and he can line him up as a wide receiver or running back, and he can really run the route tree. He can almost do
everything. I mean, he returns punts, kickoffs. He can run the ball, can catch.
Cashin stays in the backfield along with Smith, and they'll hand it off to Cashin once again, but this time they snuffed it out a bit, but he still manages to lean forward and pick up about 2. We're going to actually say about 1 on the play, making it second down and 9. Say it's up to the 34-yard line. Second down and 9. Simpson, after a nice drive to start the half, got when they went down the field and scored, as now Williams and Jacob lined up out for wide receivers. Smith and Cashin. Dropping back to pass is Schrader. He's got a man open. If he can get it to Jacob, going deep to the end zone, and it's caught. Touchdown Pointers as DJ Jacob beats his defender and takes it to the end zone for a 34-yard strike by Trey Schrader and DJ Jacob.
I mean, he really set it up for him there for a touchdown. Looks like it's going to be a high-scoring half, especially for both sides. Simpson doing well going down the field, and now the Pointers drove down the field methodically.
Stevens Point and Simpson both taking their first drives of the second half to the end zone after a really nice field position. 35-yard line for Simpson, 37 for Stevens Point as the kick from Pontario is up and good, making this 27-7 as Stevens Point answers the touchdown right back as we are at 10:01 here in this third quarter, and this is looking like a different Stevens Point team than maybe we saw the first 2 weeks, as for the first time they've really been able to play with a lead, and they got smacked in the mouth a little bit, but a nice response here to start the second half for the Stevens Point offense.
Yeah, definitely. They've been driving down the ball down the field, getting the run game going, getting the passing game going now, and hopefully their defense holds up and keeps this lead.
You can see just the swagger on the sideline. Guys are enjoying being out here, and not that they were, but weren't beforehand. But you can see there's a difference between obviously coming from behind or being in a tie game from winning by 20+ points. You can see there's just a change in attitude on the sideline.
Yeah, it definitely gives you a lot more confidence that you can pull out a game and win here.
So that first win of the season is what's on the line for Stevens Point. They got a 20-point lead as Pontario gets this one away. This one a little bit more in play, and this one will be returned by Osteen again, and he'll try to go to the outside, gets to the 20, now to the 25, to the 30, to the 35, 40, close to the 45, taken down at about the 44-yard line, and that's where Simpson will start their second drive of this half. So nice field position off of a nice return by number 11, Gavin Osteen, the 5'7" wide receiver out of Adel, Iowa. Nice play as now Simpson's got things rocking once again. So as we talked about, special teams was big for Stevens Point in the first half. It's kind of been their only downside here in the second half.
Yeah, not a great start out of the special teams, especially after the first kickoff went out of bounds, and now you let them up to the 45 or the 44 right now.
In motion is Jones. They'll get it to Jones, and Jones will get set for a double pass, and he's going deep, underthrown, and is it caught anyway by number 17? They're going to say he did catch it. Now they're going to say incomplete, as they were looking deep for number 17, Hunter Dahlgren, and man, if it was thrown a little deeper, they had a chance at a walk-in touchdown, but instead, because it was underthrown and Dahlgren had to come back to it, Jones's pass was short, and the Stevens Point defender was able to break that one up. Man, that could have been called for a pass interference call, and
yeah, he definitely wasn't
argue with it.
He wasn't really looking at the ball. It's a close play though.
Dahlgren wide to the left, or excuse me, to his right. Now he's going to look to Worth. That ball is tipped a bit, but Worth is able to tiptoe his way down the sideline and pick up a solid gain of about 12 on the play. And Simpson is moving once again. So this is the offense we thought we were going to see, this electric, fast-moving, just high-powered offense that they showed that they were, despite the score in that first game. Their offense put up a ton of points and a ton of stats, as now Jensen has got the offense moving. Now he'll hand it off to Alexander. Alexander going to his left, and he'll fight for about a pickup of about 6. And that's another nice chunk play to start the drive. So Stevens Point's defense reeling a bit here.
Not really something we want to see out of them, but like we said before, it might be a high-scoring second half here.
So 27-7, Stevens Point on top of Simpson College here in the annual Pink game. Worth and Dahlgren now in motion are tight ends. Alexander now moves. Now they'll hand it off up the middle to Alexander, and he'll fight his way for a gain of about 2. That'll make it 3rd down and a long 1 on the play. I'm going to say 3rd down and 2, actually. So 36-yard line of Stevens Point, as now the Storm are going to look to try to pick up on 3rd down, an area where they struggled mightily in the first half. Instead, they'll hand it off to Alexander, and he's got a big hole, and he'll fight his way forward, easily picking up the yardage for a 1st down. So a nice play by the Simpson running back as he's able to move the chains and keep this offense chugging. They seem like they really can't be stopped much this half.
Yeah, definitely not. He's really pounding the ball in and picking up yardage where they haven't in the first half. Little pass play here. Jensen rolling out to his right.
Being pressured by Point, and he'll be ushered out of bounds. And now a little chirping there on the sideline as number 8 for Stevens Point, Dakota Caraview, excuse me, escorts him out of bounds, and pick up of 1 on the play. A lot of running for just 1 yard on the play.
Most definitely. He tried to find a hole there, and it just he couldn't really find it. Couldn't find a guy open to pass to, but definitely a big stop there by the Pointers.
Jensen now with a little bit of a hard count. Instead, he'll look deep. He's got a receiver open. Didn't find him. Man, he had a receiver wide open in Worth. Instead, he dumps it out to his tight end. That's number 49, Cole Romdahl. And there's a Pointer down on the ground, and he seems very injured. As now there's going to be a timeout for an injured player, as I think that's number 8 who just made the play for Stevens Point, Dakota Caravo. You don't want to see that.
Yeah, definitely not. The senior out of O'Connell Falls, Wisconsin. I would say he's a leader on this defense here. That's not something you want to see out of him.
No, the whole team kind of takes a knee as they hope their leader on the defense is all okay. Seems like it's a little bit more of a serious injury, but let's get back to we'll talk about the game itself. Simpson College has looked really sharp here to start the second half on offense.
Almost definitely. They've been driving the ball down the field, whether they're passing or running the ball. They've been looking like they've been driving. Now, Pointers did the same thing on their drive, put them up 27-7 now. But credit to both teams. It might be an offensive first half. Or second half, I mean.
Yeah, offensive second half, 14 points so far being put up in the first 9 minutes. And before a stoppage in play, as they're going to look to get Caraview out of here. And he's got to be helped off the field, as we can only hope that everything's okay. And it's not serious, but there's a game that needs to be played here. But let me ask you this: when you see one of your players go down like that, and it be a relatively what appears to be a serious injury, obviously we don't want to speculate, but anytime you see that, that's got to be a little deflating to your team's morale.
Yeah, definitely, especially if it's a leader on your team. You don't want to see him go down, and it can take a hit on you.
He'll head into the tent, but Jensen's offense is back out there. He'll hand it up the middle to Alexander, and Alexander will pop forward and pick up about close to the yardage. This will be a close, they're going to say 4th down and about 1 to go here. And if you're Stevens Point, a chance to stall this drive for Simpson after they've really gone down the field again, after thanks to a nice kickoff return. But now we wonder if this is probably going to Alexander, as Jensen tells his wide receivers to play, and a snap comes here to Alexander. Instead, they'll fake it. Now throw to the end zone, going to Worth, and Worth turns around. He can't make the play, but penalty flag. It looks like Stevens Point jumped offside, so I think they're going to give Simpson a free 1st down. Looks like that is the case. Yep, they're going to say offsides by Stevens Point. So give them the first down, but it's one of those things. If you stay disciplined, that was an incomplete pass at turnover downs, and Stevens Point has the ball.
Second time tonight by the Pointers offsides there. Not a whole ton of penalties in this game, but something the Pointers do not want out of their defense, especially this far down in their territory.
Yeah, without question, they can't make mistakes here as Jensen will hand it off to Alexander, and he'll try to go up the middle, but Stevens Point's there to stop him as he only picks up about 1 on the play, and that'll make it 2nd down and 9. So 15-yard line of Stevens Point as Simpson's moving down the field. Really a methodical drive here, as it's going to be one-on-one coverage at top with Larry Bowe and Simpson's Worth, as they're going to try to get it. They'll swing it out to the left to Jones, and Jones will be tripped up after a pickup of about 2. They're going to say give him 3. So Jones picks up 3 on the play, and that'll make it a 3rd down and 6 here, as Worth is now one-on-one up top. Instead, they'll motion out Jones over to Worth, as Jensen and the Storm are going to look to try to convert on 3rd down once again. Jensen drops back to pass, looking, got pressure at his feet, now throws to the end zone, and is it caught? Oh my goodness, yes it is. What a beautiful play under pressure as Jensen just guns this one out, and Dahlgren just corrals it, gets a foot in bounds, and makes this a 27-13 game. So both drives of the second half, both touchdowns for Simpson College.
Definitely not a good look out of the Pointers defensively there, but Simpson College really found their stride now, as now it's a 2-score ball game here.
2-score ball game, and here comes the point after for Simpson. It's up and plenty good. And so Hansen puts up 1 more and makes it a 27-14 game. And I don't want to point it out, but that point after that Stevens Point had blocked, ultimately, could that play a factor in should they score again? Would they go for 2 to, if Simpson were to come back and whatever? Is that something that's lingering in their mind?
I mean, it wouldn't hurt to try it, but think about it. Maybe you missed the 2-point conversion. It could hurt you, but definitely not a bad idea for a point to do to put you up by at least 1 more than what you have right now after a score. But Point definitely needs to drive the ball down the field, kind of like Simpson did. Maybe put another score in the column.
Both offenses have looked very good to start this second half. Stevens Point, as Brody said, this is a crucial time that they need to respond after their defense is really taking a beating here in the second half. Not only have Simpson scored, but losing a few players, as still got a player in the tent for Stevens Point. As the kick is away, and this is a bit of a short pooch kick. That one is going to be taken at the sideline. That's by Williams, and he'll just scoot out of bounds. And Stevens Point will take over at around the 26-yard line. I'm going to say 27-yard line, actually, and that'll be first down and 10 for Stevens Point and quarterback Trey Schrader.
Definitely want to see a big drive down the field Point here, especially after Simpson College has been doing it this whole second half.
So Schrader now in motion is Aguilera now behind the play. Now Schrader will hand it up the middle to Smith, and Smith will pick his way and move the pile up a little bit. Looks like a gain of about 2. That'll make it second down and 8. Reed Smith with the carry. So Stevens Point now, second down and 7. They're going to give him 3 on the play. as the offense has really been clicking here a little bit in the second half. We'll see what Schrader and company here dial up. And the second down and long, Aguilera again in motion. They're going to hand it up the middle again to Smith, and again he's going to pick up a decent chunk of yardage. About 3 yards on the play. We're going to say give him 4. Make it a 3rd down and 4. Now they're going to move it back and make it 3rd down and 5. 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go here in this second half. A really high scoring second half as Simpson scored both times that they've had it. Stevens Point now with a 3rd down conversion, an area they were getting better at the end of the second half here, as Schrader will take the snap, now drop back to pass. He's looking, he'll throw it into the flat to his running back Smith, and he'll get the edge and scamper out of bounds. Looks like he'll make it to the 1st down yardage, and that should move the sticks. We'll see, as there's still a discussion on the sideline as the sticks flew out of the hands of the linesman, and they're going to say he's about a yard short. So that's going to bring on Pontario, or excuse me, Unger for the punt, and Stevens Point's going to go 3 and out.
Definitely not something you want to see out of the Points offense, but Carter Unger has shown he can pin Simpson deep in their own territory, so we'll see if it's a good punt here.
Unger's got to get a good one here, as he'll get the punt and he'll send it one in the air, and this one is not a good punt, but it will take a nice Stevens Point bounce and get to about the 21-yard line. And now Stevens Point will have to send their defense back out on the field, an area where so far this half they have not been performing to what they were in the first half, as Simpson has taken the ball and gone right down the field each time they've had it, and this is another area, a chance for them to, if they can score, make this a 1-score game.
Yeah, they've been struggling a little bit here in defense, but they have shown they can definitely stop the Simpson College offense.
So Jensen will motion Gillard. Now he'll hand it off up the middle to the big running back, and he'll get met in the backfield by number 47 for Stevens Point. Find that
Wade Ernstmeyer, the 6'3" junior out of Reedsburg, Wisconsin. Big stop out of him. He's made a few stops here tonight.
Yeah, Ernstmeyer meeting Gillard in the backfield as we approach 2-minute point here in the 3rd quarter. A nice little offensive half so far as Jensen drops back to pass. He's looking. He's got a wide open receiver, and it's intercepted over the middle, going all the way to the 20-yard line and tripped up at about the 20-yard line. That was number 21, Cody Trowenbridge, the 6-foot junior linebacker, as that is a big-time play for the Stevens Point defense as they give themselves the ball back here at about the 19-yard line. So Stevens Point offense is in good spot here.
Yeah, big mistake there by Jensen on the pass there, but huge return there by Trowbridge. That's huge for the Pointers. Sets them up really well in Simpson College territory.
It was he just didn't see the linebacker who was reading that play all the way. He did have a wide open Worth who probably could still be running. Instead, Cashin will fake the handoff, and he'll dart up the middle again. Once again, he gets to the 5, and he'll find his way into the end zone for his 3rd Wildcat touchdown of the night. What else can he do?
I don't know. He's done a lot tonight. That's a huge touchdown out of him. Three in the night, and the Wildcat offense has really helped the Pointers. I don't know if they really talked about it at halftime. Simpson College talked about it at halftime, but it's really working well for the Pointers tonight.
Bryson Cashin with a 19-yard touchdown run as a fumbled extra point, and now Pontario is just running, and he'll just toss it into the end zone, and it's caught. So a total mistake as a fumbled hold by the kicker, by the placeholder Unger, and somehow Pontario finds a man, and it's a successful 2-point conversion. That's number 87 for the Pointers, the tight end.
Nathan Schmidt, tight end, 6'5" tight end, senior,
out
of Germantown, Wisconsin. That's a we were talking about before, they should maybe go for 2. Who knows? And sure enough, they kind of went for 2.
Well, that's not how they drew it up, but got to credit Ponterio just keeping the play alive, and also the tight end just making himself open, but a kind of a chest pass, as we call it in basketball, and just caught in 2-point conversion. So just when you need something to go your way, Stevens Point gets a nice shot in the arm, and it makes it a 35-14. So we don't need to go for 2-point conversion next time, but Stevens Point able to cash in the turnover and make this a 3-score game. Man, what a nice response.
Yeah, definitely. That's a huge response to the last 2 drives for Simpson before the interception. 2 touchdowns out of him this half.
Ponterio here for the kickoff, and he will send this one away. Another kick that'll be grabbed around the 9-yard line and be taken up the field by Osteen, and he'll get to the outside, and looks like there's going to be a flag. There is a flag, and that's most likely in the area of holding on the return team, as we will get the call here from the official. Looks like, actually, I thought I saw kind of maybe a hands. No, they're going to say illegal block in the back. They will say it is an illegal block in the back on Simpson, so back him up even more. That's going to make this drive start inside their 10-yard line, as now Jensen and company have quite a bit of work to do, down 3 scores here with about a minute and a half to go here in the third. They showed they can strike, and they can strike quickly, but they're going to have to do that for about, they're going to have about a perfect game the rest of the way if they're going to want to have a chance to come back here. Now Jensen will take the snap. He's going to look and fake it. Now he'll run, and he'll just slide and head to the ground, and not much doing. Good job by Stevens Point. That's what they call a coverage, not a coverage sack, but a coverage tackle, as they took away the pass option there, and Jensen scrambled for about 2, and that makes it 2nd down and 8 here. A minute and 10 seconds to go here, as Jensen and company are really slowing this one down. Alexander now moved to his right, taking the snap, now drops back to pass, pump fake, now gets it over to his fullback, and he's hit hard by Larry Bowe, but picking up the first down is number 49, Cole Romdahl. It's about another, he likes to do those flat out routes, kind of zig routes or whatever you call it. And that picks up a first down, so Simpson moving the sticks here. Jensen takes the snap, now drops back to pass, looking deep, throws it over the middle, and he's got a man open. That's Jones. Jones picks it up and gets to about the 40-yard line before he's tackled, and they move the sticks again. So going down the field quickly are Simpson as they move the sticks.
You know, like we said, in the second half, they have been moving the ball. Besides their one drive that ended in an interception, which set up the pointers.
Larry Bowe now on the sideline, a little shaken up. We'll keep an eye on that. Now as Jensen will hand it off up the middle to Alexander, and he'll fight his way for about a gain of 5 or 6. So Simpson on the move here in the third quarter, in the final stages of the third quarter, as they will have the ball at about the 46-yard line to start the fourth quarter here. So 35-14, your score here through 3. Stevens Point on top by 3 scores. And an eventful third quarter and start to the first half, but Stevens Point playing really solid here to start this, really solid here in this third outing of the season.
Yeah, definitely a lot better than it has been the first few outings, but the offense is clicking for the Pointers here tonight, and really for both offenses, they've been clicking the second half, but the Pointers especially, they really needed this out of their offense. Even their defense, they've been stopping plays real well.
And they came up with that big-time interception that led to the touchdown and the air quotes intentional 2-point conversion. I say air quotes because it absolutely was not intentional. It was one of those freak plays that credit completely to the kicker, Ponterio. as he's able to.
Very smart play. Yeah, it was.
It was a smart heads-up play, really, as Stevens Point takes a 21-point lead into the final quarter of regulation. As the snap comes to Jensen, and Jensen's looking deep. He's got a man over the middle, and that's tipped up in the air and intercepted. Stevens Point now on the return, and they're going to get a block in the back, so this one will be coming back. But a nice interception nonetheless by Tyson White, his second one of the game. He actually had an interception at the end of the half, and Stevens Point's going to have to march this one back, but nonetheless, a nice turnover, and they've got the ball back on offense.
Yeah, definitely great tip play there. Not the result probably that they wanted. They probably would have had more yards, as there was another flag on the sideline down there besides the ones that were around the 20-yard line there. But great defensive play by the Pointers. They really stopped in the pass there.
Conversation with the referee. Yep, they're going to say block in the back by Stevens Point. So they do get the ball as Stevens Point get with the second turnover of the game, forced the second turnover of the game. But we'll look a little bit into the stats here. But Stevens Point now gets the ball. Brody, if you want to kind of take us through a little bit of what you see here, what happened so far.
Yeah, definitely. Now we're seeing the updated stats here. Bryson Cashin had a 70-yard rushing touchdown in the first half. He is up to 172 yards on the ground with 3 touchdowns in the Wildcat formation that they have. It's been a huge formation for them. It's really been helping them. Trey Schrader, 7-14 with 108 yards and a touchdown. A touchdown going to DJ Jacob on a nice little 33-yard pass in the third quarter, as the offense looks like they're setting up here.
Look at Bryson Cashin, 172 yards, and gotta say that he's probably been the MVP of this game so far, as the handoff is going to go up the middle to Reed Smith, and he powers his way to a gain of about 8 on the play, or 7 on the play, making it 2nd down and 3. But if you're going to point to anything, Bryson Cashin's impact: 70-yard touchdown, 38-yard touchdown, 19-yard touchdown run. It's just he's been all over the place, and it's been.
If they don't give him WAC Offensive Player of the Week, that's a crime.
Yeah, it certainly would be. As now handoff up the middle, and sniffing that one out beautifully is number 0, Laurante Lewis, as he just was all over that play for Simpson. 3rd down and 5 for Stevens Point, deep in their own territory. So they got the interception, stopped Simpson as they were kind of moving down the field, and now a chance to take off some more of this time, because Stevens Point's really not, I mean, if they score, great. They're not looking to score. All they're looking to do is chew this clock away and keep the ball out of Jensen's hands, because they know they're a quick striking offense.
Yeah, definitely. They've been they're trying to just drive down the field, just to setting up, just to kill some time. And
noticing the play clock was going down, and a timeout called by Stevens Point, as it'll be 13:20 to go here in the 4th quarter. Stevens Point on top of Simpson College. A reminder, you're listening to Pointers Football here on WWSP Stevens Point 90 FM, and also brought to you by SPTV. So a really entertaining game here if you're a Pointers fan. A slow start, but then really consecutive scoring drives for Stevens Point, making it 13-0, and then another touchdown from Trey Schrader running this one in, 16-yard touchdown. But then it was Worth with a nice 30-yard pass from Jensen, followed up by Dahlgren with a 12-yard pass that put their 14 points on the board. But it was DJ Jacob with a 33-yard touchdown pass from Trey Schrader, probably one of the highlights of the half. A nice 33-yard score. And then, of course, Bryson Cashin with his 19-yard run, and making this a 35-14 game. So 2 turnovers for Simpson in this second half, Another important thing to look at Stevens Point when it comes to red zone appearances, 2 of 2. But if you look at third down, it's been a bit of a struggle, 4 of 10, but not much better for Simpson, 5 of 13. They'll hand it off out the edge to Reed Smith, and he will fight his way up for a first down and a nice little kind of run to the outside, and they pick up first down yardage.
They were in that Wildcat formation too, with Cash and handing it off to Smith.
So Stevens Point moves the sticks, and now they got things moving once again. Looks like Cashin is still in the Wildcat, and he will, and he'll run it up, but instead this time Simpson just levels him, and they'll actually lose a yard on the play, making this second down and 11. Looks like somebody lost their mouth guard too.
I think that's the first time all night Simpson's really stopped the Wildcat, so maybe they've kind of figured it out a little bit here.
Well, you kind of figure what's coming when Cashin's lined up
in the backfield
as the Wildcat quarterback, but
looks like they're setting it up again.
Yep, Cashin once again lined up in the Wildcat, and he'll run, find the edge, and he will get stuffed for about a loss of 2 or 3. 2 straight times that the Storm have really just snuffed out that play, and that'll make it third down and 14.
And definitely something Point doesn't want to see, but now it's a little long third down here. Maybe they'll set up a pass. They have been clicking on passing game tonight. Few big plays made by some of Point's receivers here.
Totally, without question. The fullback lined up in the backfield as they will hand it up the middle, and charging forward is Smith.
Actually, that looks like Seth Forbes on the carry.
That is Forbes on the carry, pardon me. And now Stevens Point will have to head off the sideline and punt this one away. So no scoring, but they do take off at least 2 minutes off the clock from when Simpson last had it.
Yeah, definitely trying to kill time here to leave them less time to set up for anything, especially since Simpson's offense in this second half have been pretty high caliber. They've been driving the ball down the field, scoring a couple times here.
Look to see if maybe Simpson's going to try to bring a little pressure here, as they've gotten close to Pontario and try to go for a block, as they do bring a little pressure, but they can't get to it, and Unger gets a nice kick, but they really – Worth didn't pick it up until the last second, and now he'll dance his way close to the 40-yard line, and a flag will come in. Usually that's in the indicator of holding, but that kind of came in awkwardly late, so I'm wondering, is it looks like a block in the back, you're going to say? So march that one back. So ball should be around the 30 or 29-yard line when we come here back to play, and Jensen's got a lot of work to do. Need 3 scores in 10.5 minutes, and got to start here.
Marking back at the 27. These penalties have been killing Simpson this second half. Kind of hurting their cause here.
Penalties and interceptions and just mistakes, but they came out of the gate firing on all cylinders, but have relatively slowed down. It looks like they're going to get another free play as Stevens Point jumps off the side. They'll get it to their fullback once again, and he'll rumble his way down. Actually, looks like they didn't catch him off sides. So he got back before they snapped the ball. Second down and 4. Gain of 6 on the play. Second down and 4 at the 33-yard line of Simpson, and Jensen and company are back up to the line of scrimmage. One-on-one on the top if they want it, and it looks like they're going to go deep as Jensen, or they got a new quarterback in there as that pass is deep down the middle of the field. Number 4, Brett Bobinet, the 6'3 senior out of Osage, Iowa. He'll check into the game as Jensen is on the sidelines. Looks like they're kind of just, after the 2 interceptions, they're going to go with a different quarterback here. And
yeah, I'm not sure if we talked about it, but Bobnet also played in their first game. We went 7 for 13 with 85 yards.
So Bobbinet now with his first third down that he's facing. He'll take the snap, now drop back to pass. He'll throw it into the flat, back to his tight end once again. Making that play a few times tonight is Romdahl, and he'll move the sticks. So a nice little rhythm play here by Bobbinet, and they'll move the sticks. Just under 10 minutes to go here. They got to move quickly.
Kind of setting things up here. Bobbinet in shotgun with Alexander to his right.
Taking the snap, now dropping back to pass, looking deep. Instead, he'll go over the middle and get it to Worth, and Worth will find his way up to the first down marker, gain about 12, and move the sticks again.
Simpson really driving the ball down now. It's trying to score here, maybe set up an onside kick to get the ball back and potentially score again.
Looking like the offense we saw to start the beginning of the second half, but then slowing down after the interceptions, and Stevens Point scored, but now they got a little rhythm back, and under 9 here to go. Bobbinet will get ready for the snap. He'll drop back to pass, and look, got pressure into his face, and now rolling, and throw it deep, and that one will be caught but out of bounds. But a flag on the ground, they'll be in the area of holding, as it looks like that was Brady Clark, the 6'5" sophomore out of Centerville, Iowa. As Stevens Point will march backwards. That was actually number 72, Eli Slaymaker, the 6'2" freshman offensive lineman. So that'll make it first down and 20, and that's got to be a little killer, as Simpson was really moving the ball, and now they're behind the chains here, and they're going to have to make up some yardage.
I definitely maybe sky the ball down the field. It looks like it's Jensen back in. I don't know, hard to tell.
No, it's still Bobbinet. As he'll take the snap, now drop back to pass. He's looking, instant pressure again into his face. Now throw it over the middle, and that one will skip off the ground, incomplete. So good pressure by Stevens Point. And that'll make it second down and 20. Now you're at the point where you're under 9, getting close to 8.5. You're second down and 20. You got to pick up yardage because you're going to be going for it on fourth down.
Definitely. You got to try to get somewhere close to the first down yardage. And if you set up for fourth down, I mean, who knows? You maybe score here, and as he sets back up. And
great pass there all the way out to Worth. And talked about got to get that first down yardage. They get it in one play. 21 yards, and Simpson moves the sticks.
That's a huge play out of Reed Worth there. He's definitely their best receiver, and
shows why he was definitely their best receiver, as Worth has really had his way here on this drive. As now Bobbinet will get the offense going. He'll fake the handoff, now look back to pass, deep drop, instant pressure in his face, and he'll be taken down back at midfield. That's number 52 for the Pointers, Carter Borchardt.
Big stop there. Really negates what Simpson College did there in their last play. But that's a huge stop for the Pointers there. Sets them.
Second down and a mile. Second down and 23 to be exact. That is a huge sack by Borchardt. And now Bobinet's got to figure out the offense. He'll step back to pass, dropping, looking over the middle, and he's got it in and out of the hands and intercepted by the Pointers for their third interception of the day. Are they going to say it was incomplete?
Looks like they...
Nope, they're going to say caught and down. So Stevens Point gets the turnover, and that's the third interception of the day, as they'll take over with 7:22 to go.
Carson Van Ness, the sophomore out of Two Rivers, Wisconsin, with the interception. That's a huge, huge interception for the Pointers, especially after Simpson's been driving the ball down the field. Now it sets up the Pointers to just chew off more clock here.
As Stevens Point really has a chance to put this one away if they can chew some more clock out. I mean, it's already a 3-score game, but they'll hand it off the middle, and that'll go to Reed Smith, and he'll pop his way up the middle and then be driven down after a gain of about 7. And it will be 2nd down and 2 after a gain of 7 on the play.
A couple scores are on the WIAC. River Falls up 42-20 with 12:14 left in the fourth quarter, and La Crosse winning 28-21.
So La Crosse able to sneak away with a W. The preseason second-place team in the WIAC is running back up the middle is Smith. He'll pick up the first down and move the sticks again.
La Crosse improves to 3-0 this season. That's a pretty good start for them. Maybe they have a chance to win the WIAC, but it's
one of the top teams for sure.
It is non-conference matchups, though, so hard to say.
One of the top teams in the predictions in the WIAC, but offensively, you're not going to find one of the better performing teams in River Falls, and that's who Stevens Point's got to look forward to next week. But a good outing so far, and we're still in the game in this game here, as Schrader now moves the offense and in motion and up the middle. Instead, they're going to go with Reed Smith. In motion was number 3 for Stevens Point, Colton Madura. So Smith with a 2-yard rush. As Stevens Point, the important thing is you're not going to see him throw, I think, anymore in this entire game. You're going to see him run the ball.
I think they just keep it simple and try to chew off the clock here, and especially if you miss a pass there, it'll.
No reason to stop the clock.
Yeah.
As with the fullback lined up in the backfield for Stevens Point in front of Smith. Schrader will take the snap. He'll hand it off. Now he'll roll out and throw it into the flat to the fullback, and he'll run up the field. He's got all kinds of running room, and he'll bumble his way all the way down to the 31-yard line. And we were just talking about how they maybe shouldn't throw it.
Well, it worked out for
works right out.
Matt Getchin there, the 6'2" tight end, freshman out of Wisconsin Dells. That's a huge play out of them.
Stevens Point moves the sticks once again, and they are threatening with the ball at the 31-yard line of Simpson. Interesting to see, you're up by 3 scores here. Is this a case of you want to stay fresh and
I think maybe take your time here and chew off the clock and maybe score?
But also, you're looking forward to next week. You're up 3 scores here. Do you want your offense running as well as it possibly can going into a game against one of the WIAC's top teams? Or do you want to just finish this one out here?
I mean, maybe just finish it out here, but also maybe put up more to make you look a little more intimidating going into WIAC conference play. Although that is only 2 weeks out, as they play on October 1st at River Falls.
So they get a good week's rest before they head over.
Couple weeks, actually. They get 2 weeks off, I think.
They get a good week's rest. But handing it off on the outside, that's to Williams, and Williams will look trying to head forward and scoot out of bounds. So that'll stop the clock with 3:50 to go here. Or no, they'll keep the clock running. That'll be 3rd down. Stevens Point has been ticking away this clock and really have put a stranglehold on this one and look like they're heading towards their first victory of the season.
Yeah, definitely a huge victory for the Pointers here, especially since they've lost a couple close games the last 2 weeks. So hopefully close this out here and go into next week with a bye and keeping it easy.
Take it easy, just execute, and that's what they've done today. And as almost breaking free is Reed Smith, and he'll be tackled down. Almost popped that one free. As
Actually,
that's Forbes once again, as he almost popped that one free. So Stevens Point makes it back into the red zone, as now with a chance to try to maybe put some more points on the board, as Schrader is taking his dear time here with 13 seconds left in the play clock. 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the game. In motion, Williams. Schrader drops back to pass. He looks it into the flat to his receiver. That is Forbes, and Forbes will fight his way down to about the 10-yard line. So to me, it seems like while they could just run this game out, they want to keep the offense humming in game time reps, as they're going to be waiting 2 weeks until their next play-in, essentially.
Yeah, definitely. They're going to be waiting here. They probably just want to make it look like, yeah, we're intimidating. We're going to put points up on the board and run the clock out here. And it's definitely working for the Pointers this drive.
Yes, certainly. And Stevens Point now on the move offensively. They'll hand it up to Forbes, and Forbes will bounce his way and try to fight his way to the end zone, but will be taken down at about the 6-yard line. That'll move the chains and make it first down and goal, Stevens Point.
Minute and a half left here in Stevens Point at Gerke Field. This is hopefully just run the clock out here, maybe put another touchdown on the board, especially how the offense has been doing for the Pointers here. Looks like Schrader's really taking his time here going under center.
Schrader is milking this clock, and very wise by him, just taking all the time off that he can until about 3 seconds left, and he'll take the snap and hand it off to Smith, and he'll go up the middle and he'll get stuffed. And we reach under a minute to go here, and
probably got
a helmet came off, so you got to head to the sideline, but that wasn't it. Don't believe there was a timeout called. Just a stoppage because of a equipment malfunction.
Probably run one more play here and call it a game.
As Schrader will now instead, he'll go into victory formation and he'll take a knee, and Stevens Point is going to improve to 1-2 on the season, pick up their first victory of the year and their first victory in over 12 months. As Stevens Point now will line up to shake hands as they're victorious in this one, winning with a final score of 35-14. Stevens Point looked very impressive offensively here in really the second quarter and the second half, putting everything together, and just a really well all-around performance by the Pointers.
Yeah, huge performance out of guys like Bryson Cash, and huge game out of him tonight. It's definitely setting the Pointers up for a good showdown between them and River Falls in a couple weeks.
Yeah, without question. So Stevens Point victorious here in this year's Pink Game, as they will now move on to 1-2 on the season and go into River Falls in a few weeks for their first conference game. Now for the Simpson Storm, they fall to 0-2, but we'll be at Coe College next week, as they will be taking on. They will be looking for their first victory of the year. Once again, 35-14 the final score, as Stevens Point is victorious. We'll try to get some final stats here in a minute, but if you want to look forward, look at just recap the game a little bit. Just really an all-around good performance by Stevens Point, as actually this is a big moment for head coach Luke Vinay, as he wins his first ever game as a head coach of Stevens Point, and they will now move on to 1-2 on the season. But what a big moment here it's got to be for Coach Vinay.
Oh, it's a huge moment, especially in a game like this. The Pink Game is usually a big moment in the season where everybody's, all around together in a great mood for a great cause. This is a huge game for him to win, for Point to win.
You gotta feel good for all these players and coaches. It's been a rough while. I mean, after they started the season 2-0 last year, losing 8 straight games, and starting 0-2 this year, so not a lot of positive things going on for them, but they're able to take the victory here in their pink game and really have some strong momentum going into their next game against River Falls. If we had to pick an MVP of the game, it's kind of obvious who it would be. It's got to be Bryson Cash, and
with no doubt, with 3 touchdowns in the Wildcat formation is a huge game for him. A couple of huge runs, 70-yard run. He set himself up to probably win WIAC Offensive Player of the Week.
That it would probably. We don't obviously want to speculate, but it's probably trending that way. I would assume. But Stevens Point, the more important thing, and I'm sure he would say this, the more important thing for Stevens Point is they got the victory, and they get off the schneid, and they have a 1-2 record, and now they have 2 weeks to really prep and get ready for what is without question their biggest challenge of the year against the Falcons of UW River Falls, a team that is consistently putting up over 40 points in every game that they play, and actually just scored again.
48-27. This fourth quarter was 7:49 left over Northwestern. River Falls they really run up the scoreboard to really put themselves as contenders in the WIAC.
They are one of the higher scoring teams in all of the WIAC, and a team that not a lot of people predicted to finish in maybe the top, and obviously there's a lot of season left and stuff can change, but they have by far looked very impressive offensively this season. As now Stevens Point is honoring the pink game and just kind of enjoying this feeling here, and as they should, they deserve it. A great performance here. Not many mistakes made, as really a clean game for Stevens Point. The really thing that was important to me for Stevens Point is the play of quarterback Trey Schrader. Not only were his legs a weapon, but in the passing game was a weapon. It's fair to say he really struggled the past 2 games, and he really put it together today. And also, 0 interceptions.
Yeah, that was
no mistakes.
Huge game out of Schrader there. He really kind of led the team besides Cash, and he was definitely a great spark to their offense, and hopefully he can continue this in the games to come.
I think, it's one of those things that this is a scouting game for a lot of teams maybe in the WIAC to see what Stevens Point is all about, because really they haven't had an identity all year. It was, are they a running team or are they a passing team? And after this game, I think it's safe to say that they're really more of the we'll ground and pound and beat you in the mouth. As
not afraid to sky it either.
No, without question. As Schrader, when needed to, he can spin it, and showed that this Stevens Point offense can move the football. And what a great game, what a great win for Stevens Point. And you really couldn't ask for much more here on Pink Night, or the Pink Game, excuse me. Well, that's really all that we've got here. Stay tuned for more sporting events here, not only on WWSP Stevens Point 90 FM, but also SPTV, as we're going to be looking to bring you guys a lot of broadcasts throughout the year, as we get to show you guys some Stevens Point athletics. So for my partner Brody Kupski, for Ryan Kreft and Maddie Larson upstairs, I'm Will Harrelson. I'm going to say thank you all for listening tonight, and we'll see you next time.